What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Falling Forward, making standards come alive. My name is Dozy Azima. This is a show about Christ, inspired for Christ. So I have an amazing topic that we are going to discuss today, and it is about the benefits of celibacy or waiting until marriage. Now, recently, I'm going to be completely 100 with you guys. I had a struggle week day. I'm telling you, I haven't had one of these days in years. I normally don't have it's never really hard for me anymore. But I tell you, it was Monday. When I tell you I prayed, I cast down all spirits, and I literally got alone. Was it Sunday? I don't know, but I literally got alone, chilled, and just stood there alone, talked to Jesus Christ, cast down every spirit of lust, perversion, everything in my mind, and just chilled by myself with Jesus Christ. I could not physically make a good decision, a righteous decision. No. It text who? My phone had to be away. I could not make any pivotal decisions. I just chilled by myself. I just chilled by myself away from all opportunity of nonsense because I was struggling. And God came through. When I tell you Jesus came through. Once my strength came back, God came through, and I was like, wow, this hasn't happened in a long, long time. And I had a struggle today. So I said, you know what? I need to tell myself the benefits of waiting till marriage, the benefits of celibacy. Because I'm going to fight this. I'm not going back. I'm not going downhill. So I decided to do an episode on the benefits of celibacy. So, first benefit of celibacy, people. Very first one is you don't have any soul ties with the other person. Now, what is a soul tie? A soul tie is when you are connected to somebody in some way. For instance, marriage. Marriage is a good soul tie. Let's say you and your wife, you guys are soul tied. She has a piece of you. You have a piece of her in her. You understand her to a certain degree. She understands you to a certain level just because you guys are married, you know? Same thing in the sexual realm. If you have sex with somebody, they now have a piece of you. And you now have a piece of them. This is all spiritually. Now, you ever realize once you have sex with somebody, when you see them, there's a certain feeling you get? And it's like oh snap, or it's just a certain feeling, a certain connection that you still have with them. That is the first sign that you still have a soul tie with the person. When you're out having sex with people, sex is one of the automatic ways to develop soul ties. There's other ways, but sex, instantly you have a soul tie. Now when you see them, there's a certain feeling with them. Now, old flames can come up. Number 2, your discernment is extremely high. What is your discernment? It's hearing from Christ, knowing good and bad. I can hear from Christ if I meet somebody or whatever I'm in, I can hear what God is telling me about you. God will tell me what's going on in your life. God will tell me all this stuff. But also, when I say my discernment is just not only am I hearing God, but I also see what you're doing. And I see the future, the effect of it. So if there's any red flags, I see it. And guess what? I'm going to make a decision based on your red flags. So a lot of times if you're having sex, people, your discernment is trash. It's terrible. Because if somebody does something wrong, let's say, oh yeah, you're in a relationship and the person is just doing something that's completely off the wall, you know? But you feel like, oh, it's okay. Why? Because you've had sex, you develop a soul tie with them, and you cannot make a valid decision. Which leads me to number 3. You can make valid decisions. Now, people, look. When you are having sex with the person, your decision making is blurred. There is no right and wrong. There's gray in between there for you. Which is why when you're having sex, men can cheat and you'll still take them back because your decisions are blurred. And they'll keep cheating, but you'll still keep taking them back Or they'll keep hitting you and you still keep taking them back because you're having sex with them, you're tied, you can't make valid decisions. Or they're flirting with people and showing you signs that they will cheat, but you choose to ignore it. Or, matter of fact, men, the girl showing you suspect things that she's a little bit out here, but you continue to ignore it because of what's going on. Let me tell you this. Men, for all the men out there, and even for the women, if a woman is crazy, if you are crazy, or if you somebody that knows somebody that's crazy, and us men, we are still with you, and we know you're crazy, trust me, this is one thing that's going on where we struggle at making a good decision. The only reason we're with you is because you're really good sex. You're a freak. That's really what's going on. You are a freak. We enjoy the fact that you're a freak. And the sad thing is, as a relationship goes on, you'll be in a relationship for about a year or two. Long time. In your head, woman, you're thinking, hey, he's eventually going to marry me. In his head, he's thinking, absolutely not. This woman is crazy and she can never be a good wife to my kids, a good mother to my kids. So the only time he'll actually ever consider marrying you is if you got pregnant. And usually that might end up in divorce because you're crazy, you're not willing to work on yourself. But another good thing about not having sex, I can walk away quickly and proudly with no baggage. Now, a lot of times when people end up in relationships, they feel like, hey, this person, I met them, they're so good, it's so hard to meet somebody else. These are lies that the devil is telling you. He's talking in your ear and telling you lies. Let me tell you something. The truth, if you want to know the reality of things, when it comes to, let's just use myself as an example. When it comes to myself, let's say, let's just use the scenario. Let's say I'm in a relationship and this has happened before. I'm in a relationship. I met a woman. She finds out, I let her know like, hey, I'm waiting to marriage and all this stuff. And she's not for that. And, we hit it off. We're having a good time. But she's not for waiting to marriage. She told me she's a Christian. She told me she's a Christian. Can I just say that? But she's not for waiting till marriage. So I'm like, oh, okay. She's fine. Of course she's fine. And she's just not for waiting to marriage. She's an amazing woman and all of that. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. I'll see you later. Does it hurt? Yeah, it hurts a little bit. But not like that. It'll pass. Absolutely. I'm a human being that hurts a little bit, but I'll be okay. And she's thinking, in her head, like, hey, look, I'm fine. I'm amazing. There's nobody else like me. Who you talking to? Me? You lost your mind. Woo! People lost their mind. Let me tell you something. The reality is, whoever you are, there's somebody just like you or better that's saved. That's the truth. And there's a whole bunch of them. Matter of fact, there's women that are wrong and doing wrong that'll eventually decide to do better. Now you have them coming out there. Now they're an option. You have men that are doing wrong that eventually clean themselves up and say, you know what, I'm going to do right now. And it has nothing to do with you helping them. And then they become a good man. Come on. There's people in different countries that love the Lord. And I don't have hangups like that. Come on. There's no way I'm going to be caught up in a situation. If somebody ever doesn't flow with what's going on in Christ, I understand the reality is, it's cool. There's more like you. And fine is nothing but a preliminary check off on the list. You fine, okay, now what's after that? Because if we're talking about fine, you pick a number. There's plenty of fine women in this world. And then for women, there's plenty of attractive men in this world. But the reality is there's more out there. I promise you there's more out there. There's no struggle for this. So I can make a valid decision and walk away. Absolutely. And a lot of that is from not having sex. I know a lot of men that got married because of what she could do in the bed. And now their marriage is, they have to work on it. And I don't suggest divorce. Work on it. Figure it out. But these are the scenarios. You could prevent all this if you were not having sex and you waited. You can make valid decisions. You can see if you're compatible or not. Too many people, you're not compatible, but you're sexually compatible. Can you sit your sexually compatible self somewhere else? Because the reality is, if it was that good, you would be in amazing marriages. Divorce wouldn't be out there, if since everybody's testing the person out. If that's the case, how are those tests going? Because clearly they're failing, because the divorce rate is extremely high. So your physical test obviously doesn't count in life and marriage. So what I'm saying is, people, wait till marriage, practice celibacy. Your decisions will be on high alert. You can make valid decisions. You can hear what God is telling you. And you're not blurred. Because a lot of times, look, let's say I meet somebody, a lot of times, if they're amazing and there's nothing wrong, it's just because, if I leave, it's just because God said, Dozy, you need to go. And now I'm like, Jesus, come on. Jesus, you want me to go now? Like, we invested time, Lord. She fine. I'm usually like, Lord, she fine. That's what I'm saying. Like, Lord, she fine. She got a good head on her shoulders. She's amazing and she fine, Jesus. Like, I'm telling him that. And he's like, Dozy, it's time to go. But I understand that he knows the end result and he knows what will happen later on. So I pick myself up and I'm not even happy about it, but I'm obedient and I'll be fine. Give me like a day or two, I'm fine. I'm good because I know God, Jesus, has the best for me. Absolutely best for me. So I can walk away proudly. But if I'm having sex with the person, God will tell you to leave. You know how many times people have said, God was telling me to leave and I didn't leave. Then I ended up in this situation. God was telling me to leave and I didn't leave. Now this happened. God's been telling me to leave for a long time, but I couldn't. Why? It's because you guys were having sex and you were tied. God was telling you something, but sex was fighting it for you. You were giving sex more power because you wanted that feeling. So I thank God that I'm not out here having sex because I can hear him and make a valid decision. So people, I'm going to pray for you. If you're out here having sex and you need help and you just need like, hey, God, look, I want to live in a celibate life. I want to wait till marriage. I want to make good decisions. I want to see who you have for me, because the reality is sex slows down who you're going to meet. And that's just the truth. I'm going to tell you, women, from a man's perspective, I don't care how you think this works. This is the reality of it. And this has happened before in my life. Like, this has happened, especially even being here where I'm at now living. This has happened. If I ever see you and I'm like, oh, she's beautiful, I would like to get to know her. I can see her spirit's amazing too. And I spoke to my homeboy and find out that he talked to you and you guys had sex, that's never ever going to happen kind of thing. Unless Jesus comes and says, Dozy, that's your wife, that's never going to happen kind of thing. Never. I don't care how amazing you are. You guys had sex. It's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you from a man. For a woman, it's a little different. But for most men, that's dead. So there's times where you think, hey, this man's just not approaching me. No, we inquired of you. We will never approach you. So the fact that you had sex is slowing you down, is closing your doors, and that's just the reality of it. For men, you know, we may have sex, and for some women, that's a done deal. If you have sex with a friend, that'll never happen. But for some women, it's better. The ratio is better with women. There's a chance with time, For men, it's 9 out of 10. No, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. God's going to have to deliver or just say something, because it's just not going to happen. You know, it's just the truth. So I'm going to pray for you and let you know, hey, if you thinking about living this life of celibacy, if you want to change, if you want to make decent decisions, if you want a good life, if you want an amazing marriage. Matter of fact, let's not even talk about marriage. If you just want to be right with Christ. Father, in Jesus' name, I lift up every man and woman right here, God, that are thinking about living a life of celibacy, that need to, that are struggling. Father, I pray you open up those doors. I pray you free them up. I pray you make a way for them, Jesus. I pray you pull everything out of them, all the gunk of the people. God, I pray you break soul ties, God. Just let them write down papers, all the names, and let them call out each name and break off the soul tie that they have with them. Father, I pray that you strengthen people, that sex will not rule them, Jesus. I pray that you can allow people you'll make them whole in themselves, Father, and take those pieces that they gave to other people, Father. And matter of fact, even develop new pieces in them of purity, of grace, of mercy. God, I pray that you will strengthen every man and woman that knows that they need to wait till marriage. Father, I pray you make it a reality. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. So everybody, look, before I leave, I'm doing something new. Somebody contacted me and said, hey, I paint. I noticed this new painting on your wall. I'm thinking about sending you a painting. So I decided, hey, let me just open this up. If anybody paints and does something cool, arts, draws, something Christian, or just something cool, like entertaining, don't send me no nonsense. No rubbish, yo. If you know something good, if you can really throw down on here, send me pictures of it, and I'll pick the one I like, mail it, and I'll post it up. I'll post it up on my background if you're interested in that. So everybody, if you like this, comment, subscribe, and wait till marriage. So everybody, catch me next week on Falling Forward, making standards come alive.